So right after returning home, South Korea's key negotiators are heading back to Washington again to wrap up what could be the final phase of trade negotiations as the country prepares for next week's APEC meeting here in Gyeongju. For more, we're joined by Professor Oh Joon-seok, Dean at the College of Economic and Business at Sookmyung Women's University. Professor Oh, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So Seoul and Washington have yet to agree on the key details of the $350 billion investment deal. What key negotiating cards does South Korea still have when it comes to tariff negotiations?
The major sticking point has been how to structure and finance a $350 billion investment in the U.S. in return for a reduction in so-called reciprocal tariff from 25% to 15%. The U.S. has been pushing an upfront cash injection, which is not that common, while the Korean government has made clear it cannot pay the full amount in cash at once, which is right. The sum should combine direct investment, loan, and loan guarantees as agreed in the original pact. In this way, negotiations have been gridlocked over the structural investment fund. If you are a licensed financial expert, it might be a violation of prudent man rule of business ethics when you are designing capital structure of a special purpose fund of cash only without leveraged financing, cost sharing, risk hedging, or even loss splitting in time of need. Luckily, Washington is known to have accepted Korea's concern over foreign exchange market instability, softening its earlier demand that the fund be entirely cash-based to cushion the potential impact on foreign exchange market. Seoul has also requested a currency swap arrangement with Washington. Another unresolved issue is the timing, whether the lower tariff rate would apply immediately or only after the MOU is signed. The APEC meeting, as you mentioned, considered the most likely outcome is a joint statement rather than a legally binding accord or a pact. Seoul, however, is pushing for a Japanese model, seeking to embed detailed terms in its investment pledges to ensure reciprocity. Then what Seoul has as a negotiation card beyond the balancing trade and investment of shipbuilding and supply chain, negotiators are also working on a potential update to the U.S.-Korea nuclear cooperation agreement. It is also plausible to take issue on whether to raise its defense spending to 3.5% of GDP, aligning with NATO benchmark. What is certain is the priority is not the timing of a deal, nor the structure of investment fund, but whether the result serves our national interest or not, which is exactly the same with Washington's stance.
Right, and U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to make a state visit to South Korea on October 29th, next week that is, and can we expect a major breakthrough in Seoul-Washington trade talks?
Seoul and Washington summit and Washington-Beijing summit talk might take place during Trump's stay. It is expected also that the U.S. president is highly likely to skip the multilateral summit during the APEC summit meeting. President Trump doesn't like a multilateral. Instead, President Trump may hold a bilateral summit with Korea and with China before the APEC gathering opens and depart without attending the main session of the summit. Both Korea and U.S. officials have recently expressed optimism about the breakthrough in their stalled trade talk as their country's leaders are expected to meet on the sidelines of the APEC summit in Gyeongju. The U.S. agreed to reduce tariff on import of Korean product in return for Seoul's investing in the U.S., but U.S. auto tariffs are still in place as the countries remain at odds over the details of investment fund in the United States. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made a remark of great importance quite recently when asked whether the two nations can bridge their difference. When asked whether Washington could provide a currency swap arrangement Seoul has requested, Secretary Bessent stated that the issue falls under the authority of the U.S. Federal Reserve. But however, the secretary added that if he were chairing the central bank, then Korea would already have a currency swap facility, just like Singapore. It seems Washington is close to wrapping up trade negotiations with Seoul, noting that two sides are ironing out the final structure of the agreement.
All right, and this week we saw South Korean business leaders playing golf with U.S. President Donald Trump. So it seems all hands are on deck to reach a trade agreement. What might have been discussed there? What's your take on their golf playing?
We have to interpret this event. It's a return of bilateralism before 1995. Ever since 1996, with the advent of a WTO, dispute settlement mechanism in the international trade has been settled in multilateralism. In the middle of the related parties, as a green judge, WTO is involved, and then WTO is the center, and then based on fair and free trade, applicable of WTO has made consecutive decisions till now. As a result, WTO has been the playground nowadays of global lobbyists, the international trade and investment. President Trump might pivot this playground from WTO to the U.S. Gulf meeting will be an example of how to make good use of playground of the U.S. Amid the ongoing discussion of a tariff between the two, excluding WTO, Gulf meeting involved the U.S. president and then executive from South Korea, Japanese, Taiwan companies took place, including Samsung Electronics, SK Group, Hyundai, and LG Group, and even Hana Group vice chairman. This event was likely conducted using the shotgun start method, where teams are assigned to multiple holes and tee off simultaneously, rather than starting from the first hole. This format allows many participants to begin and end the game at the same time, making it popular for a VIP group round that require post-game gathering at the clubhouse. The meeting, reportedly arranged by the SoftBank founder Masayoshi Son, came at a critical time with unresolved tariff negotiation and significant economic interest hanging in the balance for the two allies. It is believed to have provided a key opportunity for Korean executives to directly engage with Trump on various issues in discussion. This marked the first time major Korean conglomerate leaders collectively played golf with a U.S. president and key political and business figures. The executives are believed to have traveled to the golf course via limousine bus instead of personal vehicles.
All right, I see. All right, Professor, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.